We are on What Were You Thinking? This is Alex. This is episode 39, I believe.
Ooh,
Episode, uh,
39?
yeah, we're racking it up.
Oh,
Racking
that
it
is
up.
somebody's lucky number. I don't know whose, but it's somebody's, and they're
It
out there watching this.
it could
Super
be.
excited.
It could be. So I'm Bob Siosik. I'm founder of World's Greatest. You're gonna see a lot of subs in here today. This is Alex Hooper. If you haven't seen Alex's show with Quenisha Burks and Brandon Miller, it was hilarious. You should go back and watch it. I think Alex, that was one of our most fun episodes ever.
Oh, I thought you were going to say highest rated, but most fun is also okay. That's totally
We
fine.
racked up the views on that one. I don't remember how many, but there were. Well, I think we were over 100,000.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
I believe
views.
we were.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The but in that one, basically, that whole beginning of that episode was basically Brandon and Quenisha just laughing for like 5 minutes, right? I mean, you just had them rolling for 5 minutes.
Well, it's better that I have them laughing than they have me running sprints. So if we can trade skills, then I'll gladly take mine over theirs in that point.
The Exactly. So I think people might see John Anderson in the chat. We'll be bringing John in a minute. John is, if people don't know, is an anchor for many years for Sports Center, and a track and field expert extraordinaire. So basically, Alex, everything that we don't know about track and field, John knows.
Okay,
So
so good because I'm going in with very little knowledge. So as long as somebody knows slightly more than I do, I think we're going to be in good shape for this episode.
I think so. We're gonna try something new. So a lot of what we do is we try to experiment with new little formats, right? So in today's episode, we don't have any athletes, right? It's well, you're a different kind of an athlete, slackliner, comedic
Sure.
athlete. So, but we don't have any current Olympic athletes. Normally, it's all Olympic athletes. So we decided to try something new. So we have all of these videos that the athletes have given us over all these episodes. So we're just going to kind of roll that into our conversation, and maybe we'll kind of use it as jumping off points, see where it goes. We'll kind of throw John into the mix as well, and kind of riff off of these videos. I don't know. Maybe we should test it out, Alex, before John comes in.
Yeah, let me see because I got it pulled up on here. So let's see. Let's play a video, see what
Let's
happens, make
see what
sure
we
that
got here. I'm gonna
the
find
views are
something
good.
good. Yeah, I think. Oh, here's a good one. This one's fun. This is. Can you see that there?
I can. Yep. Whoop, that guy just ate it.
Yeah.
Uh, wow, he didn't even try to jump, did he?
Now, something something happened. No, that's Trevor Bassett. Trevor won. What was he? He made the world indoors. I believe as silver medalist. John is going to probably correct me on that. He's now one of the world's greatest hurdlers. And look, I think he actually came back and got on the podium in this race.
Which is crazy because I mean, what good. Don't get beaten up just because you fall down. You're supposed to get back up. That's part of the rules of sports and life. But also, when you're supposed to hurdle, maybe leave the ground a few inches to try to attempt to at least jump over the obstacle. I mean, look, I've tried to plow my way through many different things, but just been hit with a. You gotta at least give it a little.
I think it's good that Alex, you're giving advice to, one of the top hurdlers in the world. This show's off to a great start.
That's just who I am, kind of inspirational, aspirational. I look at anybody, even if they're better than the thing that I am, I can still guide you through with my vernacular.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And Trevor, I'm sorry I did that, buddy, but he gave me the video. I mean, I'm not going to play it.
No, we should celebrate our mistakes. That's the
Exactly.
that's how we move through. You got to show vulnerability. You can't pretend things like that didn't happen.
Here's John Anderson. Hey, John, what's going on, buddy?
How are you? Listen, I'm better than Trevor Bassett, who, by the way, yes, he was a silver medalist at indoors. Good job.
Oh my gosh.
You're right
So
there. But yeah, those spikes are killers, man. You hook one of those and At least he's a modern day athlete, right? People our age, we'd be taking cinders out of our knee and our shoulders for the next 6 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got some other good stuff. Alex, why don't we do a little round table with you guys though? I think Alex, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and John, let's do the same, assuming that nobody knows who you guys are. Let's just start
Sure.
there.
Yeah, of course. No, my name is Venus Williams. I am one of the top ranked tennis players in the world since I was 14 years old. I may look a little different. That's just the lighting on your screen. My name's Alex Hooper. I am a stand-up comedian. I tour all over the country and the world. You may know me from things like America's Got Talent, Comedy Central, a bunch of sitcom stuff, and overall, just a fun, happy, loving individual who wants everyone to be as happy as me.
Hey, John, we're gonna.
That's good. Then I'm the yin to that yang, because usually I'm kind of crusty and mad and angry at everybody else. And it's good. By the way, did you see I brought Fred with me tonight?
Hey.
Yeah. So I didn't want to go without some sort of track and field bona fide. So I brought Fred with me.
That was a good reveal too, John. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So there he is. There's old Fred. He wasn't. Where was he? He was in Nairobi, right? He's coming back from Africa.
Yeah. I think
Kenya.
I like to do this kind of stuff. I'm gonna text Fred now to see if he wants to come on the show by the end of the show. So we're gonna.
You see,
we're
if
gonna,
not, there he is. Yeah, you know why? Because I want to talk to him about his garden. The guy apparently now is he's got a green thumb and he's out there and he's trying to raise like the biggest pumpkin for the county fair or something like that he's got going on right now. But so yeah, my name is John and I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong meeting. Yeah, I've worked for SportsCenter for 23 years. I take exception to the fact that since we've got no athletes on the show, apparently everybody forgets that I no-heighted at Drake relays and no-heighted at Texas relays. So I've been bad at some really good meets. And then I like track and field, and I'm interrupting my preparations for the SEC championships to be here and do this. How awesome is that?
Hey, so normally, like I was telling you, John, when I shot you that text, normally we have Devin Allen, right? Devin's out in Phoenix. He has a lot going on, both personally and on the track and on the gridiron as well. But I think he's actually selling his house over there. A lot of little stuff going on. But then he's heading down to Puerto Rico for the meet on Thursday. And same with Jessica Beard. Brandon Miller has SECs, right?
So do I, but I'm here. That's all I'm saying.
This is
Yeah, I have a show at a bar later tonight, and I'm still here.
I'm the only one with nothing to do.
So we'll let Brandon Miller hear about it because, like, by the way, I have to do all the events. That's 21 events on both sides. That's 42 events. He's got 2. He's going to run the 800, and Pat Henry will probably make him do the 4x4. So, and I'm not buying schoolwork.
I'm not buying it either. School's done. The schoolwork is done.
Yeah.
Because you know how it is in the SEC, right? Track first, school second.
This is how it goes. All right. So I'm going to throw some video up here. Let's just kind of have fun with this. I'm going to throw a random video up that obviously Alex will know nothing about because he knows nothing about track and field. And John will know everything. So I'm just going to put video up and see what you guys do. Okay.
Okay. So dudes are bringing their polls in.
Yeah. Can you guess whose polls those are, John Anderson?
Hang on. Try. Let's just go crazy. It's probably Mondo. Is it Mondo?
Not Mondo.
All right.
U.S. based athlete. There's a big hint on the side of it. You're seeing three of the letters.
Yeah, NDI.
NDI.
Notre Dame Institute.
Here.
Is that a thing?
I'll spell it out for you, John. Here we go. It was.
Oh, it's Sandy Morris.
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta think client first, and not, and then I can think. Then I'll think. Everything else second. So By the way, how much better has she been? Right? She's had a great season so far, coming back, and I mean, it didn't help that whatever she tried to, break her back at the Olympics when she went down there.
Yeah.
But and by the way, if you'd have had a snake there with the pole, I'd have then for sure would have known who it was. Alex, this woman is a terrific athlete, but she runs basically a pet shop out of her house with exotic animals.
I was gonna ask you to explain that reference.
Yeah.
Does she live in like South Florida or something like that, where like the alligators just roam freely and help her do her errands?
Well, close, Arkansas.
Okay, yeah, same, yeah. I was about to say same thing, not quite the same, but close enough.
But John, so this is her animal bar. So she moved to Atlanta, and this is like her homemade. She's such a handy person. She makes all this stuff on her own.
Whoa,
You know,
cool.
she's got extra time. Unlike Brandon. Brandon
Wow.
doesn't have any extra time.
Yeah.
Sandy has a lot. Let's see what else do we have in here.
Spiders and snakes and
Let's see. All right, let's see if John can help us on this one. Who might this be? This one might be a little harder.
oh my gosh. Well, clearly he's right at home, right? So that's Kendall Williams.
It is, yes, and that's her dad.
Is that Mr. Williams?
It is.
Hey, save a horse, ride a cow. Isn't that what they
Eat
say?
chicken. I thought people tip those over. Isn't that a thing, right? People go cow tipping, or maybe that was just me and from in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
that is a thing. I mean, mainly only in Wisconsin, but yeah, people do that.
Yeah, you find humor where you can.
this is Kendall with her dog. So she's
Sure.
get this one. So she's trying to get her dog to lose a little weight. So she bought a doggy treadmill. But the only way the dog will get on the treadmill is
to
if
eat?
is to eat.
Unbelievable. That's great. Wait, why isn't she taking him out on her morning runs and everything? So, Bob, do
Yeah.
I have this right? So she didn't finish this weekend at the championships, but she'll still go because she's got a spot
Yes,
at World Championships. Is that right?
that is correct. Yeah.
And so is that part of the reason she didn't finish? Was she injured? Was she like, okay, I'm not going to push it here because I have my spot, or what happened?
You know what? I don't know. Fred
Alex, apparently you know more track and field than Bob as well.
Fred says I'm
Oh,
in.
yeah. I
Fred
know,
says
Freddie,
I'm
just
in
wondering-
Doha sleeping.
I'm just really wondering right now where I get one of these doggy treadmills, because I think my pugs are really going to need to start exercising more. It's kind of, they're thickening up a little bit too much for me.
Oh my god.
Well, then we'll just stick with Fred right here. That's where we'll get our fill of Fred.
Wait, tell me, let me play the fool for a second. Who is Fred?
That's Fred Curley, one of the great 400-meter hurdle runners in the world, who decided that was too far. And so he switched and went to the 100 meters and the 200. And everybody said, Fred, you're crazy. Why would you do that? And he made all of us look stupid by winning the silver medal in the Olympic 100 meters last year in Tokyo.
Oh, amazing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And by the way,
I like when people make me look stupid. Anyone who wants to make me look stupid, me thinking that I know things that I don't, by all means, put me in my place anytime.
And I've talked to Fred on several occasions on TV, and this picture right here says roughly 7 words less than Fred in an interview.
The strong, quiet type.
Just not really chatty.
Well, you know what? I chat enough for like 9 people, so he can be one of those people.
So, Alex, of all the Olympic sports, what Olympic sport do you think you would like to attempt or would be good at?
I mean, are we talking summer or winter?
Let's stick to, well, I don't know, John. Should we just expand it out? Let's do winter too. Why not?
Well, yeah, because I just always think if there's luge jokes to be had or drunken Finnish ski jumpers, then I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely the bobsled and the luge always appeal to me just because I do like very thrilling things. The double luge, of course. I mean, anytime I can put another human on top of me and go sliding down a hill, I'm for that. I really think though that honestly, like winter, I think it would be snowboarding just because I already love it anyway, and I've always wanted to be one of those guys that can just fly through the air doing 1260s and things like that. But summer, what's good in summer? I think I mean, gosh, the high jump and the long jump are so appealing. Just because I'm so terrible at them. I have no, I'm a 5'8" white man. I can barely jump over my own shoe. So when I see people like leaping over something 6'5" and more, there's something about that where I want to try.
See, I think you'd look good in a Leo. Get you on a balance beam, maybe out there in the floor exercise.
Oh, I would. And just so you know, there is photographic proof of me in unitards all over the internet. So if anybody wants to see that, just Google it, and I promise you'll find it. Oh, Jeb, but yeah, the floor exercise, I'd be so good with the little ribbon. I like really, I think I'm a lot more dainty on my feet than people take me for.
I think I don't know if I have that footage, Alex, but there is footage of you on a slack line for hours and hours.
Yeah. That's the one as far as sports go that I'm good at. I can play many different ones, but slacklining I'm actually very proficient. I can stay on a slack line for multiple hours without falling off. Which I think is going to become an Olympic sport in the next few years, to be honest.
I think it is. What do you think,
it's exploding right now, as far as what's happening, it's very much like what was akin to snowboarding in the early 2000s. So I think it's only a matter of time before the Olympics pick up like freestyle highline slacklining as an event, because it's truly incredible what those athletes are doing.
But so how does it work though? What's the
Right, that's what I want to know. Like, how do I know who wins? Because if it's just staying on there, then you could be there for the 2 weeks of the Olympics, right? You could be there the whole time. How do I win?
I'm thinking more like trick lining. Like there's a bunch of different. There's one discipline of it requires you like doing a lot of tricks on the line, and I could see that easily becoming a sport, because then it's subjective, but it is judgeable based on your level that you're doing. Otherwise, you're just talking. Most people just go for like distance, and that's not going to be an Olympic thing, because that's not as much fun to watch. It's not as measured.
Listen, when I was there this summer, and before I did the track and field, I was doing 3x3 basketball. And behind that court in this venue, which was set up for thousands and thousands of people who obviously were not allowed to come, but behind that was the rock climbing wall, right? Mm-hmm. So that's sort of probably a cousin slacklining of that. A lot of people kind of you kind of
rock
find those folks kind of hang out together.
Yeah, rock climbers actually invented slacklining, because you use climbing webbing to make a slack line, and they realized, oh, look who it is.
Yeah.
Hi, Brandon.
How you guys doing?
Man, I was talking about how you were a coward and you want to face me. You weren't going to take any more Mizzou crap from me, and you're like, I am not coming on TV. I'm not coming on stream with that guy. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I wish I could have done the show, but I'm packing for SECs. I'll see you in a couple of days, John.
We got a date in Oxford.
Yes, we do.
But what I need to know though is what are we making of this fella there in Lubbock? Now we buried him indoors. But 143 is pretty sporty.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's talented, and if we meet again, I'm just gonna do what I need to do in order to try to win.
All right, you ready for him?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you guess who's behind me?
Who? Mr. Fred Curley himself.
See, Alex, he's well known. He's well known in College Station, Texas.
Yes,
very famous.
Brandon, can you guess who's behind me?
Let me see. I have no clue.
That's a guy I saw one time when I was tripping. But that's.
Oh man! But I just wanted to come on and say hi, John. I'll see you in a couple days.
Now, wait. So is that the pad? What do you hopefully you're out of the dorms now, right? Even though you're a sophomore, you got your own place off campus.
Yeah, no, I'm not at my house right now.
Where are you?
I'm at my girlfriend's house.
Oh boy, is she on the team?
You know my girlfriend pretty well.
I need some gossip. Who is it?
Come here.
Give me an event.
800.
Give me an event.
An 800 runner from A&M.
Yep.
Now, how's her false eyelash game? Because the 400 girls got it rocking.
Actually, her makeup is pretty good.
Does she have dogs?
Yeah, she does.
Is she tall?
Taller than me.
Is she from New Jersey?
Something like that.
I just realized, Brandon, did she pick A&M because those were her initials?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna have that.
That's for another show.
So last year I sent that to Pat Henry. Coach Henry, I'm texting. I said, I guess the A&M stands, now we know what the A&M stands for. And he did not get the joke.
Coach Henry is hilarious. I think he got it now though.
He might now. Hilarious. So I just saw her last weekend. I think I just saw her last weekend in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, she did.
She's a delightful person.
She is.
She really is.
Hey Alex, before Brandon jumps off, do you have any advice for him on this weekend? Yeah.
Which event are you running in? Are you participating in?
The 800.
Yeah, I would say as soon as you get to 700, start running a little bit faster than everybody else.
I got you. I will.
Honestly, that's the key to victory. It's not in your legs. It's all right there in your forehead.
Yes, sir. I got you.
How did I not know that this was a couples thing? I am so dense. How did I not pick that up at the Bowerman? I'm like, why is this guy hanging around at the Bowermans? Now I know. You were.
I thought you were just playing dumb, John.
You were arm candy. No, I didn't know this. Honestly, I didn't know that Sid McLaughlin got married this weekend until it popped up all over the Instagram thing.
I was sitting in the crowd when you said the kiss, marry, kill. I was like, she better not say nobody. Like when you asked her who she would kiss, who she would marry, who she would kill, I said she better say Brandon Miller, and Brandon Miller.
That's right. But we broke up the room with that joke.
Oh, that was hilarious.
She was like, no, I'm not answering. I don't want to do that to me. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Man. That's funny.
So I'm not a good person. You shouldn't let me be in front of this thing. So. Anyway, what was your last? So wait, today is Monday. You got to run when? Friday? No,
Thursday,
you're on Thursday
Saturday.
night. Thursday night and Saturday.
Yep.
All right. So you don't have. You might have to work a little bit tomorrow.
I got you.
Right, you got a little workout tomorrow. Wednesday, we got nothing. A few strides.
Well, we travel tomorrow, so we only do shakeout tomorrow.
All right.
And then we'll probably get a little workout in, a little Wednesday, a little tune up, and then run Thursday. So.
Okay. Well, listen, because my son is a manager at Arkansas for Coach Buck. I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
Yeah. So I got him sharpening KT for you. KT and his mustache is going to be. He's not going. You got this little Billy D. Williams thing. Kieran Taylor's got like Alex. He's got the full on. He's got the mature adult kind of thing. And so
he
may bring that for you. You better watch out. I'm just saying.
I got you.
So.
Oh man, it was nice seeing you guys.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Brandon.
We'll
say hi to that friend of mine.
Thank y'all. I got y'all.
John,
Bob's just setting us up with people now. He's just seeing
John,
who he
have no idea who Billy D. Williams was. He's way too young.
I should have said Lando, and then he would have known. If I'd have said a Star Wars character, he'd have been there.
That was, but you were spot on with that. That was totally that pencil thin little thing there.
We're totally on that. So Zaza is here in the chat, and he wants to come in as well. So we're gonna bring in Zaza.
Zaza Gabor?
Yes.
Wellington Zaza, one of the great 110-meter hurdlers from Liberia.
Zaza Gabor, though. Not Zaza Gabor. I'm weak.
Zaza, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
How is it you let Fambule have the flag?
Excuse me?
How is it Fambule got the flag in Tokyo? He's from Minnesota, for the love of Pete.
Yeah. So he's also over 6 foot, and I'm not. So that's why he get it.
So yeah, so at the opening ceremonies, Joseph Fambule, who runs for Florida, had the privilege of carrying the Liberian flag into the stadium.
Yeah,
Alex,
it was like a pretty much like a nomination thing. you know, our country, Liberia, it's women first and then men, right?
Mhm.
So it's kind of like opposite. So like pretty much the first lady, who's Ebony Morrison, she was actually at the forefront of the flag, but Joe is just holding the pole, just to kind of like one of those behind every strong man is a strong woman type of vibe. You know what I mean? That
Right.
was the concept behind it. And then shout out to our sponsor Telfar, who actually, you know what I mean, try to make that come through for us too. You know what I mean? That was why he got it, because he's the tallest and the strongest.
Yeah,
I'm not. If I was over 6 foot, if I was 6'1", I would have been holding that thing too.
all right.
You know
Well, when
what?
I see him, then I'm gonna tell him. I
We'll get you
can't
some
believe.
platform shoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him, dude, you got beat by a girl.
Facts.
I,
Facts.
I like Alex's
Hey,
idea. Get the
But
platform.
she's not a slack though. She's no slack. She'll get down to it though.
No, yes, and so did he, by the way.
Oh yeah. And he about to get back to it again too. And I'm be right there with him.
Good for you. That's good for you. Listen, this is a bad time to be a hurdler unless you are a really, really good hurdler.
Factual.
Like if
this
you
is
make
the year of the hurdles. This is
if-
the year of the hurdles, man.
If
Like,
you can make a final in any hurdle event, you're a baller.
for sure. That is for sure. Shit, if you make a semifinal, you're a baller. Because if you can make it at the first round, you on some shit. Because this year, you know what I mean, running 13.3 and 13.2s, that's like running 13.4 these days.
You know why I think it's such a good time for hurdling is we've spent the last 2 years jumping over every single obstacle that we think has been in our way, like
All pun.
metaphorically. So now
All
literally
pun.
people are going to jump over things, and I just think it's all translating from the mental to the physical.
Hey, I could dig that. I could dig that. I mean, I just feel like hurdling, we've always been there, but like now, you know, with, you know, Grant leading the way, I think because of what Grant has been doing, that's probably why people have been paying more attention to the hurdles. But I feel like we always been like that, but nobody really been paying attention really.
Listen, between him and listen, in 2 years ago, Daniel Roberts was a thing, and Daniel Roberts, he didn't even look like he's even in the sport anymore.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far, man. Daniel Roberts still there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's he's a good man. He's a good man. You know?
He's
John.
great, but there's tons of them. Trey Cunningham he ran 13.10 the other day.
Yeah, I seen that. That was tough. But I mean, he ran 13.10 under some heat now. You know what I'm saying? He had Andrew Posey to his left,
Right
then he had
there.
Belosian to his right. So that's some heat.
That's
You
what
know
I
what I'm
mean.
saying? Shit,
And
his ass better have ran 13.10. I'd have been shaking my head.
Omar's running good again, and is Shubakov? I don't know if Shubakov's involved anymore. I don't know. Does he get to run anymore with the war in Ukraine? Have we bounced him out?
It ain't even that. I think Shubakov's situation was he had a failed test because of not being home or being sick or having a baby that was sick, and he ended up like showing some affection to his kid. So whatever medicine the kid took got into the system. But that ain't my business. So, you know, I just mind my business. So he's dealing with that. What's up?
I have a question for you, Wellington.
How goes it?
Like, when you're running and you're doing the hurdles, what are you thinking about to keep you going? Because when I used to run down at the dog track, we had a little mechanical rabbit that we would chase, and that really like helped us.
That boy said dog track.
But I don't see you guys chasing anything. So, like, what are you thinking about to drive you forward past everybody else?
I mean, first of all, you got 0.89 or 0.87 seconds to think about what you got to think about in between hurdles. So if you thinking, you probably gonna be falling. So like all the thoughts has to be in the warm up. Like, you know what I mean, when you're doing your A skid, your B skid, your high knees, you know what I mean, like your prep warm up, whatever. But once you get into once you put on some spikes, you know, you start going over some sticks. Like there's no such thing as thinking. It's either you got it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, the only time I probably would think is probably like when I'm getting off the last hurdle and mentally just tell myself to just get to the finish line as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But anywhere between from the blocks to the first half, the middle, and the end, you ain't got time to think. Because if you're trying to think, you know what I mean? When you start to think, that's when you start peaking. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see where everybody is. And soon you start to see where everybody is, that's when somebody goes into their zone that's stronger than yours. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
everybody in the hurdle world, they know where and what part of the race is their strongest. Nobody ever gonna tell you their weakest part of the race. So you might be in your strongest part and you have a little time to like glance over, right? But you gotta realize your weakness is somebody else's strength, and your strength somebody else's weakness. So if you in your strong part, somebody might be trying to hold on to you and be patient in their weak part of the race, right? Entering the strong part. As soon as they enter that strong part, it's a wrap for you because you done peeked over.
Okay, this
Here's
is
what I'm
good because
telling
the
you.
reason I asked that is I was having some trouble in the sample lines at Costco, and people kept rushing past me and taking the last pizza roll, and I'm like, okay, I got to put my blinders on and focus.
That sounds like a Black Friday problem.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just hurdling over bodies that are just being stepped on again and again.
See, that's your problem. See, that's why they got to you, because you ain't body slam nobody. You got to drop people on their head. They won't mess with you, man.
That really is Saturday morning at the big warehouse stores. That is hand-to-hand combat. That could be a great WWE event. Like those people are all in.
John knows, you know what I mean? The best athlete's got the best elbows, so you got to start slinging them things.
Sharpen them up.
You feel me?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, while we're talking hurdles, John, and while we have a Philly guy here, Zaza,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What do you guys think about Devin Allen in the NFL?
Man, I love it. I love it for him. I love that for him. You know what I mean? Like, I've been knowing Devin since 2013. You know what I mean? Devin was always good on the football field. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, pardon his little minor major injuries on the football field, but I kind of love that for him. You know what I'm saying? I love that for him. You know, because that's been one of his dreams and goals since leaving high school, going into college. You know what I'm saying? And setting Oregon on fire. But you know what I mean? I love that for him. I don't think nobody should take it from him. I don't think nobody should talk bad about him because at the end of the day, the dog, he works hard. You know what I'm saying? Granted, like, I want to beat him every time I step on the track, but like, that's my dog. He going to the Eagles, you know what I'm saying? I hit him up a few times, you know what I mean? I try to get him to link with my brother. He works at NFL Films. John, his name is Jordan Bennett. Be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying?
He's in the chat right now.
That's funny. That's wild. He said that. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, Jordan Bennett. Jordan Bennett. He's a phenomenal guy, man. He went to Wake Forest film school and works Bleacher Report, all of that good stuff.
So is it true that both of you are the illegitimate sons of Steve Sable?
Then how'd you know?
An NFL
Hey, that was supposed to be a secret.
Yeah, I don't know about Brandon Miller and a thing mo, but I know all about Steve Sable.
Yeah,
all the skeletons in his closet when he comes to.
Hey, that's the true ESPN guy right there. He knows all his stuff.
Yeah, listen. They're always right there.
Hey, yo, I got a serious question though. So like, I know you work for ESPN and all of that, right? How do y'all get y'all news? Like who tell you? Who be telling you all these like secret things about us?
See, well, obviously some things stay secret. We have a really deep and talented research team.
Yeah, because like y'all be on the TV talking about when he was 6 months old, he was able to pick his nose. How'd you know that?
Yeah. My favorite.
How do you know?
Like they can go, well, Alex Hooper, when he was in 7th grade and he was on his, the junior high B squad of the volleyball and he tore up an ankle. Like we just have people that do that and they know where to find that stuff. It's ridiculous.
Bro, how?
Now, first of all, it was varsity as a freshman at an art school, but close enough.
Sure. But and you literally, like, there are some things that are really easy. Like if I want to know what your PR is, I can go look that up on myself. But if I want to know, like, how many times you've broken 13.5 on Wednesdays when the temperature is 50 degrees, we got dudes that can literally go find that stuff.
Hey, tell them, hey, let me know what they look like so I can hide, because I don't that's kind of freaky.
Yeah. So here, let me tell you. So I go to the Penn Relays, right? Because we're there. Right. I have 2 horrible Philly flashbacks in my life.
What's up?
One is Freddie Mitchell, 4th and 26, against the Packers, and then the only playoff game that Vince Lombardi ever lost was the 1960 championship game at Franklin Field to the Eagles and Chuck Bednarik, which was their last championship until the Philly Special and Nick Foles and everybody else came.
Yeah, Philly Special 215 affiliated. You heard?
The thing about
thought the
Devin
Philly
is,
special was flipping a car for no reason, whether you win or
Hey, I
lose.
told Devin to link Jordan, my brother get him right. He'll get him really up to par with Philly slang and Philly food and Philly just the environment. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
I like
boy
that.
Devin's a busy man.
so Alex, you're right. That
Philly
is the Philly
slang.
special, and the Detroit special is when you flip the car and you light it on fire. That's
Hey,
just one more
Right,
step.
exactly. Yeah, very
Hey,
important.
easy on the
distinction there.
Detroit special, all right?
The
How about-
Detroit special.
Listen, you people, you love to burn stuff up when you
We do.
win. It hadn't had
No,
very much.
We
but-
really like to burn couches. That's what we like to
Or
do.
you in
more.
West Virginia, as long as we're getting into that. But
Well, I'm
Hey,
from Baltimore, so we
the
just
motto
light
in
people
Philly-
on fire.
The motto in Philly is take no shit, leave no prisoners. That's the motto in Philly. We love our team. We support all of our athletes and everything. Take no shit, leave no prisoners. That's the motto in Philly.
Hey Zaza,
listen, you know who's from Philly who scares me?
Who?
Like I would not want to cross Dawn Staley,
Who that?
the coach at South Carolina that just won another national championship, the women's basketball coach. She's from Philly.
Oh, from Philly?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
never knew that, but her outfits be on par.
she is. Yeah, she's legit, and she will. I mean, she is a competitor. Even now, just as the coach, you're like, okay, and her women will run through a wall for her.
What part of
She's
Philly?
terrific. That I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with
And
the.
I got you. I'm up one now. I'm up one. ESPN analysts who don't know information, I'm up one. Let's go.
Wait a minute.
Let's
So
go.
just saying from Philly is not enough.
Hey Bob, that's the Philly special right there. We scored. Let's go.
Listen, I didn't know until I went there in Philly. There's University City. I'm like, I'm just driving to
Yeah,
Philly.
it's U City. So like
Now I know.
there you go. The real U City.
I'm learning a lot of stuff here. Is all I know.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna leave this right here. Right? Okay. The Sixers probably are not going to get out of this round, and if they do, the Bucks are going to take care of them. So that I'm just going to leave it right there.
Right, but we're gonna get out. We're gonna get out this round though. So it's like I got faith in the dogs.
Hey, Alex, though, what I want to know is, I really want to know what's upcoming in the world of track and field in these coming weeks, and what are your insights, Alex, on what we should be looking for?
You know, a lot of the world's top athletes are coming together, and I just think that they are going to pound the pavement, run as hard as they can, jump higher, leap longer.
It's a mondo, not a pavement.
Well, pounding the pavement is a metaphor for just moving as fast as you can, as hard as you can.
You can't run that fast on pavement.
I think records are about to be broken. I think knees are not going to be broken because I'd like to think that everyone's going to get through with a healthy fashion. I just think we're about to see some of the world's greatest athletes. Hey, world's greatest. I get another $1 for that one. Just really showing us what the human body is capable of. And hey, if you can eat, let me ask you this. The human body from Philly, I've seen it capable of eating 9 cheesesteaks in a row. Now show me the other side of the coin. Show me how physically fit you can be.
That's a mouthful.
John, that's some pretty good insight, though, on track and field there, John.
Yes.
John, if you ever go to Philly and you need a cheesesteak, go to Ishkabibble's. You would thank me for life.
I ate an authentic cheesesteak the other day from a truck here in Los Angeles, and they put ketchup on it, dude.
From a who? A truck?
Like a food, like it was an authentic food.
Wait, you
truck
said a
from
truck,
Philly.
right? You said a truck, right?
Yeah.
That's where you went wrong. Stop going to the truck. You gotta go to a poppy store. You gotta go to a corner.
I live in Los Angeles, man. I can't just go to a regular place.
Got to do what you can, yeah.
But they put ketchup on it. I was baffled. They said real Philly cheesesteaks from real Philadelphians, and then they put ketchup on it.
Yeah, it's salt, pepper, ketchup, and mayo.
What?
Light sauce.
Wait, that's normal?
No cheese whiz?
Yo, you don't like it's like getting a bacon, egg, and cheese in New York, and you don't put the jelly on it. Come on, man.
Yeah, I do put ketchup on that. Actually.
You see what I'm saying? Come on, Alex.
All right.
How on earth did you survive in Auburn, Alabama?
Listen, you get a cheesesteak. You got to get salt, pepper, ketchup, and light mayo, onions, peppers. That's it. Anything less is disgusting.
Okay.
Anything less. And you
After
probably
school?
got a stale cheesesteak bun too. That the roll was probably hard as hell.
The roll's
That's, by
very
the way, I
important.
will say this. That's where people miss sometimes. The bread in the roll is crucial.
It's
Oh,
very
critical. Come on.
It's not a Omaroso roll from Philly. Is not it.
Seriously, well, how did you survive in Auburn? Like, there's
Man,
none of this
I
in
really
Auburn.
did. No, see what happened was when I went to Auburn, I kind of got into like the Caribbean vibe. You feel me? Like we had Philly cheesesteak place, but I didn't really like it. I used to get the chicken cheesesteak. The chicken cheesesteak was a little bit better in Auburn. But I really vibe with the Caribbean culture. Like, you know, we used to have these cook-offs. So like all of the women on our team, a lot of them were from the island. So like they would make like curry chicken, jerk chicken, and
Mm-hmm.
all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So they introduced me to that. So I kind of like turned a blind eye to cheesesteaks for like 3.5 years. Which when I went back home, people would get mad at me because I'm like, I'm not really feeling for a cheesesteak. So I have my Philly card revoked a few times, but hey, I got it back though.
So I'll say this first off, congratulations to your coach Ralph Spry is going to retire after 25
Man,
years in Auburn.
That guy's a legend, dog. Ralph
legend.
Spry has done a lot, man.
He'll be having his last SEC meet at Ole Miss, where he was the first national champ in Ole Miss history as a long jumper. He was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And secondly, because I can't invoke Fred enough, Lyndon Victor told me that without him, Fred would have starved at A&M because Lyndon Victor took everything. Because you talked about the Caribbean guy, right? Lyndon apparently can make curry chicken like nobody's business.
Yeah, LD could cook. LD could cook, bro. Like he's from Grenada, so like letting the spice, man, and spice and gold. They could really steam up some food. Yeah. But
yeah, he's like, without me, Fred starves. It's that simple. Cut and dry.
Quick maps.
Well, wait a minute. When he was on the show last time, Zaza, he was like 220 or something in college.
Yeah,
so apparently he was eating too good.
I went to put pictures in here because we actually took I got my scale to work literally right after the show. So like we literally have him stand on the scale. He's literally 200.
Oh yeah, you gotta text us that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Who's that? Our boy Fred?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
Fred.
This Devin. Devin was they were giving each other shit, but Devin was saying, "How much you weigh? I want you on a scale right now." You know, and so Zaza got the scale, but the scale wouldn't work. You know.
Yeah.
So Fred said he was going to get on the scale right after the show. So we think
going to be like the U.S. now.
There it is, right. There's the proof right there. The proof is in the pudding.
Well,
I don't know how you do this.
Or less pudding, apparently.
Yeah.
A few less snack packs, and now you're ready to go.
Yes, sir. Hey. But yeah, we wanted to make it known, like, you know, my dog kind of picked.
Hey, John, while we got you on the show, normally it's a bunch of athletes. So we have one current athlete on the show here, but let's turn it all around. I want to ask John some questions. And one of the questions we usually ask the athletes are, you know, the big moments, the high moments, those are easy, right?
Yeah.
Everyone highlights the big high moments. Give us one of your low moments at ESPN or on SportsCenter where it's like nothing was going right, but we never saw it. The viewers never actually saw it.
Boy, I don't know. I mean, people usually see it.
Oh.
I remember John Anderson's nip slip back in 2011.
Correct.
And I was gonna say.
I'll tell you an actual low point where the job where you go, you must have the greatest job in the world, right? It's the same thing with athletes. They go, you must have the greatest job in the world, and they're like, you just saw me on game day when I have my uniform on, and I look my kit, and I look good. You weren't there when I was thrown up in a trash can after running, right? So we had several years ago, it was probably 10 or so years ago, 11 years ago, Steve Levy and I are doing the late night SportsCenter. LA hadn't opened, so it had to be at least 11 or 12 years ago. So we don't get to go home till all the games are over. So the Padres and somebody, all I know is it was the Padres because it was in San Diego, played 22 innings.
Oof.
So that's a game that starts at 10 at night, goes 22 innings. In the 16th inning, the road team scores. We're like, thank God. And the Padres match them, so we play 6 more innings. Now it's what? It's the middle of the night in San Diego. So the marine layer has rolled in. The ball won't go anywhere. We're like, somebody, I don't care what, get the clear, get the cream, take stenozolol. Does somebody take a steroid, hit a home run so we can all go home?
Not a steroid though.
So when you and I left at 4:48 in the morning, and I thought, well, that's glamorous TV, isn't it? 4:48, and it was just, and because SportsCenter shows these games, and now at 22 innings, it's a story, but it's not. It was not a game to clinch a pennant. It was not a game to take over the. It was just a game, 120 in the middle of August, and you're sitting there till 4:48, and you're just like, you know what? If I had just studied a little harder in that accounting class, I could have been home at 5 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening, and I could be watching Rocky Files. So like that, those are the moments where you're just like, this blows.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that's good, man. But you guys are like always quick on your toes with these questions. Like it always baffles me because like when you cross the line, I'm like gasping for air and like trying to see the sunlight, and like I'm like barely getting to the tunnel, and then all of a sudden you're like, so blah, blah, blah,
Here we are.
like where does this question come from?
There's a key though, right? Like the thing you don't want to ever ask anybody is, how do you feel? Because nobody knows how they feel in the first 8 seconds of accomplishing something great.
At all.
All you know is you're tired or whatever. So you usually as long as I ask about the race, that's kind of what you know. Right? It's hard to judge everything else. And if you won a race, you usually know where you won it. I was great over the, hurdles 3 through 6. I hit them great, or I started really well, closed some of that. But otherwise it's a crapshoot.
Alex, is it what's one of your low moments on stage? Oh, we can't hear you. We lost you.
That's it.
Maybe
It can't be heard.
We don't have your audio. Somehow.
All right, we're working on it. Here it is.
Well, we're working on that. Let me see. Can you see that?
My dog got the bunions out.
And what is that? 20 what?
204.6.
Hear me now?
There you go.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So we can
I
hear
thought
me,
maybe
right?
I thought maybe in honor of Coda winning the Oscar, you were going to sign for us.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want me to say. I would be doing a horrible disservice to the hearing impaired community. No, I'll tell you this, my lowest moment on stage is very public because it was my first America's Got Talent performance when I was horrifically booed by 3,000 people for 7 straight minutes. And I walked off stage almost like I'd been beaten up by Mike Tyson with my arms behind my back. It was brutal. I almost collapsed from the negative energy and the amount of energy it took me to sustain being out there. But that's very public. That's been viewed
what
many
was your
millions of times.
routine? What were you doing?
Well, I was going out there and roasting the judges without telling them and just speaking a lot of truth that they weren't ready to hear on a show when most people go, "We love you so much." I went, "Let me tell you what's wrong with all of you." And I signed up for it, but it still was pretty brutal in the moment.
Oh, that's kind of. Go ahead, John.
Can I just add something? Just the respect I have, Alex, for the job you do and how hard it is. And when I did Wipeout, and I was with John Henson, who's a very, very funny man, and everybody knows somebody who is funny, right? In their circle, everybody, and not professional, and I realized that anybody can say something kind of funny once. Guy falls down a banana peel, you can make a joke about it. But people like Alex, you're like, here's a banana. I need 10 jokes on that. Just a banana.
Yep.
And in 10 minutes, they can come up with that. And there really is a genius to it that's different than, oh, I know a guy who's funny, right? But there really is. There's something harder about that because we can all pop off something funny once in a while. But if you literally went,
Sure.
Okay, hey, here's a beer bottle. I need 10 jokes about a beer bottle. And that you guys can sit down and in 30 minutes we'll do that. And that you'll grind over that. Or now we're going to come back to one of those funny lines and callbacks. It really was unique to watch and see how you guys work and see how it's crafted. But it really is, amazing because then if somebody like me who occasionally says something funny, but says something terribly funny, they're not funny, they just go, well, he's a sports guy. But if Alex says something, or John Henson would say something that's funny, they're like, "Well, that guy's terrible. That's just, you know, you're imputed. You're supposed to be funny, and if you don't make me laugh, it's whereas Bob and I just show up and we're at the party and we make a joke or two, like those guys are hilarious,
Right.
you know. So I just having gone through that for 6 or 7 years and watching that, I learned a lot and was always amazed at how there's a difference between being funny and guys who are an actual comedian. Like it's an amazing skill, and I'm really envious of guys like you, Alex, that can do that, because I think it is.
Well,
It's
you're
like everything
envious
else.
of
It
me
looks
if I'm doing
effortless when
something
it's
right,
done well,
so.
but it is not.
For sure. And that's the reason why no comedian has ever won a show like America's Got Talent, because when we're doing our job well, everyone thinks they can do it because it doesn't look like we're doing anything at all.
Right.
That's a
Right.
good point. Yeah. That is a good
Yeah.
point. So Alex, so
No
in
one's
that,
Alex.
watching Zaza going, I can run that fast and jump that
Hey,
high.
Alex, what's your best
No
joke?
one's doing
What's your best joke?
How often is Wellington going to
best
log on
joke?
here?
yeah, how many times are you logging in here, Zaza? What's going on?
I have no idea. I think what happened was when you.
Here's
when
a
you
picture
said-
from inside his sock drawer.
No, I
Zaza.
think no, I'm on it. I think what happens is whatever link you sent me is being shared.
Here, I'm gonna try to bounce this other link out and see what
Are
happens.
you sure that's not Fred sleeping in Dubai?
Oh, I think I just knocked Zaza out completely. It probably
Uh-oh.
is.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's see if I can
It's
bring
good
it.
because he was about to ask me what my best joke is, and I was about to go into panic mode. So it's he's back. Never mind.
But do you have one best joke?
No, I don't think I have a best joke. I think I have. I think I have. It depends on what you like from me because I do a lot of different things. You know, I have roast jokes that I love. I have 2 albums that are available on like Pandora, Tidal, Apple, wherever you listen to music, except Spotify because they're being dumb right now and they took all my stuff down along with a bunch of other comedians. But I just, I love just being in the moment, and anytime I can make somebody laugh and spread a little joy, then that fulfills my purpose for the day.
This is a good question in the chat.
What's my
post,
go-to
Alex.
joke to
Yeah,
break the ice?
I like it. Yeah.
Typically I try to keep the ice intact, so I don't go falling into a frozen lake. So I'm not one of these Finnish ice divers that are trying to break records and go 105 meters in an Arctic black swamp.
Hey, when Devin makes his first play, we got to get Devin to get you at the Apollo Theater in Philly or the Laugh House.
Oh yeah, that's right, the Bill Burr moment, man.
Yeah, or the Laugh House.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we got to get. But I think Devin's going to make a lot of great plays. You know, he is a 4th place athlete, and I think we can get him up to 3rd if we really try our best here.
Not a 4th place athlete.
He's at least he's a legit football player. He's not somebody that went, well, he's really fast. Let's see if we can recruit him in. So, Alex, how many times, because so much of what you do is obviously the feedback you get, how often do you put together things and you think that's going to kill and it goes out and it's not, or you do a joke and you're like, it might be funny and it's uproarious, and you know the feedback that you get is not what you expected from what you've come up with?
You know, that part of the addiction to stand-up comedy is the immediacy of being up there and knowing exactly how well I'm doing from second to second, and it can change like that. I would say at this point, I know myself pretty well. About 50% of what I write and try on stage will work in some capacity, but that still means I'm failing half the time. And I need to dig myself out of the hole. I grab my metaphorical shovel and just start trying to find a way out of it. But also, you know, you kind of save yourself as being by personality and just by saying, well, that was terrible, huh? Thought that was going to be good when I was writing it down. Spent an hour on that yesterday, but hey, screw me, right? And wait, the question was just asked that came up. What was it? Similar as being a comedian on stage and running a race? I think the biggest thing is keeping
No, a
your
championship,
head, that I would say-
race, Alex.
a championship race. I mean, I think it's focus, right? It's so much of it is believing in yourself that you're going to get to this finish line, that you've put in the work previously to know what you can do in any situation, even if things don't go well. But really, it's just putting your head down and going, I can do this and I will get there no matter what it takes for me to do so.
Zaza, do you agree with that? That was actually
Right.
pretty good.
Hey, he sounded like an Olympic gold medalist right there.
Hey,
Hey, while we're on the
In
topic,
the race walk though.
John, what do you think it takes to be the greatest? And let's keep it to athletics.
Right. So the first thing, because I get that, the hard work and I get the focus that everybody talks about. But some of it is, first and foremost, man, you got to have the pixie dust, right? Like if you didn't get that modicum of talent, then it's never gonna happen, right? I went to my first conference meet, and opening height is the height that I had jumped in high school. My high school PR at 6'8.5", and I make this, and I'm very excited. And then I make the next height. I'm 6'10". I'm like, this is a blade. And then it was won by a guy who jumped 7'5.5". And so this is my first conference meet, and I realized suddenly it's introduced to me that this is not, I'm going to be a journalism major, right? It becomes abundantly clear. And I go talk to my coach, and I said, Coach, I don't know that I'm going to, like, I think I could get better, but I'm never going to be that guy. Like, I know my limitation. I'm not going to be that guy. And he said to me, his name is Bob Teal, Coach Teal, who's just about to turn 99. But he said, let me tell you the kind of the big myth that people get raised on in athletics when they grow up. And he said, because all your coaches say is if you work hard and you do your workout and you lift the weights and you eat right and you sleep and do all that stuff, you're going to win. And he goes, and sometimes you don't because the other guy's just better. And it's like, it's really at some point, it's true. Like I can work my ass off, but I'm never going to beat a thing mowing a 400 or 800. Never. So at some point, right, you got to have pixie dust. And then the difference is the people, what greatness is, and those people are the ones that know what to do with it, that aren't going to squander it, that they're going to work hard, and now they're going to eat right, and now they're going to sleep right. And that to me then becomes really, it's not sexy. Then that's the grittiness. Who's got the discipline to go out and do that every day when it's not fun? Who's got the discipline to go out there and run exactly what the coach says? I don't want you to run faster. I don't want you to run slower. This is what I need you to run. Like those are the things that I think are components of greatness. And then you just can't be afraid of the moment, right? Like if you guys come play golf with me, I'm so good on the range. But you should see me on the course. I'm terrible. And the guys that can focus and realize that in Wellington's case or Grant Holloway or Devon's, that when they're in that lane, you might be at the Olympics and it might be a bigger spectacle, but it's still those 10 barriers and it's 110 meters. And it's always the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. And that's really hard for people not to get beat by the moment. The great ones can control the moment. The moment doesn't control them. You watch Michael Jordan. Never once did the moment get too big for Michael Jordan. He was in control of the moment. And people like that, I've talked to Grant. When Josh, you talked about looking to your right. Yeah, he looked to his right. And you know who he saw? Hansel Parchment.
That's Parchment. That last 3 hurdles.
And because at some point that moment, and you don't know where it is, it can sneak up on you. All of a sudden, you're like, "Crap! I'm 3 hurdles from winning the Olympics."
Yeah,
right.
And then suddenly you're dipping trying to get a medal. And so that's I don't know that you can put your fingers on it, but it's not. I don't think greatness is as sexy as we make it out to be when you cross the tape. I think it's all the unsexy things that get you to that point.
Not the unsexy thing.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. I just think there's a lot of that, but so much of it is guys that when you get in that moment that you've got to be able to produce, and that's really hard to do.
Sometimes the moment you don't feel the moment until the moment, if that makes sense. Yeah. And as an athlete, like you'll go to you went to I've been in the world, I've been to this, I've been to that. But like at the end of the day, like there's some major championships that when you go to, like it doesn't feel like a championship until you hear on your marks.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, John said those who are great can they can control the moment. But if you get in a situation where you've been trying to control the whole time, right? Like for example,
Yeah.
I could relate to my world indoor. I've been running 758, 759, all indoor, 760, all indoor, right? I'm feeling okay, cool, I'm good, I'm back, right? But went to world indoors. I'm feeling good in a warm up. Like it doesn't even feel like a championship. I was there all week. Like don't even feel like no pressure, no nothing. As I get into the call room, now they start policing. Now this is where I started getting nervous because like seriously, like once again, my country was sponsored by Telfar, like a fashion brand, and I just threw on the uniform that day. I didn't know there were any little, you know how the rule is, right, John? Where they got to cover whatever sponsor that doesn't sponsor them eat.
Yep.
I sit down, close my eyes like this, just to find that into that zone of competition like I normally do. As I closed my eyes like this, I felt 12 hands grabbing me, like taping up all these different parts of me. So I'm like, I'm trying to capture the moment, but they're making it so hard for me to capture this moment because they're worried about a logo on my uniform.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make anything better because I had a long sleeve top and a long sleeve bottom. So they touching my bunion, touching my neck, touching everything. I'm trying to focus, and they just like not letting it happen. And then like let me see the bottom of your spike. And then I have the bubble spike. I'm like, yo, and everybody just looking at me like I'm on house arrest or something.
Wow.
But
But-
Alex, right? I mean, you do a lot of, you do stand up, you do club after club after club. But suddenly, if you're doing America's Got Talent or whatever that is, and you realize now there's these many people and there's another 95 million on the other side of the camera, like, or you do at Carnegie Hall, you can't help but notice that the routine's the same and the joke is the same, and you need to do that same thing, right? But all that environment around you suddenly changes, and that
changes. Yeah, you gotta
hard
be
to
ready.
remember.
What I tell myself in that situation is that I hope it's the same an athlete tells themselves when they hit the big moment. Is you go, this is why I do this. This is why I put in the work. These are the times when I'm supposed to truly enjoy what I'm doing here because I'm at that top level. I've achieved something that many people wish for and only a few people get to. If I don't enjoy this right now, then I'm doing myself a disservice for all the hard work that I put in. And I think just like an athlete, you know, a lot of people are like, you're so lucky you work an hour a day. I'm like, no, that's the work you see me doing.
Sure.
You don't see everything else that goes into me getting ready for that hour and everything that took to get into it. So I just think you gotta, it's all headspace. I try to just not get nervous. I mean, I'm always going to be somewhat nervous, but I try to use it as positive energy and transmute it into something so I get to a happy place and I can go, I'm here. I'm in a flow state. Let's go.
And then insult the judges.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex, what's your
In that
favorite
particular case,
genre?
yes. And then be
Oh,
a
that boy
professional
did.
heel.
What's your favorite genre, Alex, of comedy? What do you like to perform the most?
I mean, just honestly, straight stand up is my absolute favorite. One's mind and the way they observe the world and themselves and humanity as a whole. So I just like to watch anyone who has very on the world around them.
Losing them.
And, huh?
We lost you a little bit there.
Oh, so yeah, anyone who just has an interesting take on the world around them and that isn't afraid to get personal within themselves, someone you can learn from.
Yeah, that's cool.
Is that coming through?
It is coming through. It is coming through. John, do you see this question in the chat here? What's your favorite ESPN segment to watch?
I didn't see it. I totally ignored the public. I do the show completely for myself. I have no idea. What is your favorite segment to watch? I'm not sure. What like a show or
John sounds like a McDonald's worker who eats at the Waffle House next door.
Well, let's adapt that a little bit. What if we say, what's your favorite ESPN commercial that you've been in? How about that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, long as we're going to get in the spirit of things, the one I did with Usain Bolt was kind of fun. That was neat. I took my son out of school. Here, Alex, you want to talk about a great comedic moment? So I take my son out of school. He's 8 years old. So he's 7. He's in second grade. And because I tell my wife, listen, I think this record's going to stand for God knows how long. And I can teach him second grade math for the day he's going to miss. So he's going to come with me because I don't know when you're going to get the chance to meet Usain Bolt again.
Right.
So Bolt couldn't have been nicer, right? Just an unbelievably personable guy, no big entourage, wanted to eat bacon, not oatmeal, like one of my favorite people in the world. And so, but I make my son write a little note, a little article, a little story on his day meeting Usain Bolt so he can bring it to class so his teacher knows that he's not just skipping out. So he does that. Usain Bolt signs the homework to bring it in.
Wow.
But he entitles this. Now, remember, he's 7. He entitles it, "My dad is not the fastest man in the world." I'm like, you little imp. Right? Because most of us thought our dad was the fastest and the strongest till at least like 10 or 12, right? Before that was blown. No, my kid at 7 knew I was not the fastest man in the world. Worse yet, he knew who the fastest man in the world was. It's even worse.
What a great
Hey,
headline.
John, hey,
Wow.
that's hey, he better not bring that up on Father's Day.
So he was good. Maria Sharapova was unbelievable when she came. That was a great one. The Manning brothers, we get a lot of run out. They were fun. The first one I ever did was with Bon Jovi, and I walked in to do it, and literally there's the whole band. There's Bon Jovi in the effing newsroom, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Like this is just,
Wow.
it's absurd. And what you find is all of them are there's to some degree those commercials, and we do far fewer of them than we used to. Like that's sort of some sort of stamp of legitimacy on their career. Like when like that's sort of the same thing. It's kind of like when you do your first Sports Center. Until then, you can tell all your friends you work at ESPN, but they just assume you shammy Chris Berman's car until they see you on Sports Center and know that, okay, oh yeah, look, he is actually there. He's not just hiding out on ESPN News.
That's a goal of mine to get on ESPN broadcast. Just get on. I just want to just go there for like just like a 30-second segment. That's all I need.
I can tell you how to do that. I can tell you how to do that. 12.95.
Yeah.
Guarantee you'll be on.
Let's go. Hey,
There's a challenge.
12.95. Done.
Go.
Hey, John, before we're going to wrap up in a minute here, but before we do that, let's do like a little rundown of so you guys are all filling in here, as am I, because we have all the other athletes that are normally our hosts.
Nothing says I love you quite like you guys have been doing a great job filling in.
Let's do a rundown. No, this has actually been a great show. Let's do a rundown, John, and we're going to throw it to you because we're going to use that big brain of yours. Let's go around the horn, start with Natoya Gould, and let's do a rundown, a little 30-second piece, Natoya Gould, and let everybody know who she is. What are her highlights?
I'm trying to think as much as I go, right? She's another one that's in a really tough spot, man. That 800 right now on the women's side is just brutal. That's another one. If you make the final, like she has done, right? She's by far the Jamaican that can run the farthest, right? Most of them are, after 400, we're out.
Yeah.
So God bless her for that when she comes through. And the hardest part is just like, I think she's going to be a spot where she'll never get her due for being as good as she is unless you make a big breakthrough. And that's really hard when you have Raven Rogers and Athing Mo and Ajay Wilson and Keely Hodgkinson and all those people that are running with you stride for stride. And we put so much in track. We put so much emphasis on the Olympics. That one day every 4 years. And if you fall over a hurdle and you're Lolo Jones, people assume that like, oh my gosh, what a disaster. Lolo Jones was fantastic, right? But most of the public thinks Lolo Jones was like, oh, she's the girl that fell in the Olympics. You're like, check yourself, right? She was terrific. And that's the thing with Gould is I just think she's so good. And I hope people recognize how good she is because she is in a generation and in event right now that has never, ever, ever been better.
All right, that's a great summary. Let's go to Jessica Beard.
Listen, first off, I love her. I look forward to seeing her at the Bowermans every year because she's terrific. a ton of medals, like a key. I don't know. I don't think this is insulting. Like just a key member of a ton of our relay teams, might not, that she's made a ton of championship squads. Doesn't have that great big individual top gold medal yet, but gosh, like I'd take her career in a heartbeat to make world and national championship teams and Olympic teams and have gold medals on relay events. Just another one that's really talented in another really hard event. Like if you can be a great American in the discus, like Valerie Allman or Deanna Price, like we don't have a lot of depth there. But if you make a national team in the 400 for the women or the men, then you are really, really, really good.
So let's talk about our guests from before. Let's talk about Brandon Miller.
Well, as everybody knows, right, and he knows, I hate him. So Brandon is from St. Louis, and we love St. Louis. And as a guy who went to Mizzou, right there, 2 hours from St. Louis, and he didn't go to Mizzou. So reason number one, I don't like him. Then he found out he's a journalism major, and there's no better journalism school in the world than Mizzou. So he basically stiffed us twice. Okay. So anything I have nice to say about Brandon Miller is purely by accident, or I'm completely lying through my teeth. No, listen, he's really, I love him because he is a courageous runner, man. He is not afraid to be out front. And once you get out of the 400, where everybody tries to run as fast as you can, in the 800, the whole world wants to sit and kick.
True.
And that guy, he will have none of it. Right at nationals, he went out and ran out like he ran like 59 or 40 or something. That's why I still think the greatest track race I have ever seen. I am trying to think of Jaja, you can help me with this. I thought for the longest time the greatest track race I ever saw was Radisha's 800 when he ran 140 and change. The dude went to the front and ran like 49 and 52.
Yeah, 48 mid in the first four.
Wow.
Yeah, and came home in 140 and led the whole way, and wasn't a pacer, and it was an Olympic Games, right? The Olympics, again, we're just going to hold down. If Matthew Senchwich won the 1500 in the slowest time since like 1910. This guy went all out from the start and said, come get me. So that I thought was the greatest race ever. And then the caveat I'll put is, and then those clowns ran the 400 intermediates in Tokyo. And everybody decided that screw 46 and 47. Let's run 45. My guy, Ry Benjamin, ran 46.18, and he's got to be going, what the hell? 46.18.
That's a flat 400.
46.18, and dude got beat.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So Brandon, but I like Brandon because Brandon can go out and he's not afraid, man. He is just, here's what I can do. And if I can run for it 144 or 140, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to sit around and see if I can win at 147. I'm in 144, 143 shape, then I'm just going to go run that. And so many people in their lives have lost races because they're in, you're in the 1500 and you're like, I'm in 333 shape. Good. Then what are you waiting around for to try and win at 340? Go run 333.
I think Brandon's bringing more swag to the 8, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I feel like he's back to the 800 because like his first 6, he's really moving in the first 6. Like, and of course he come home looking all tired or whatever, but like at the end of the day, he gonna boss to the wall from the gun to the tape. Like,
yeah, I love that. And then in the great, think of the great guys that have run the half there at A&M recently. Donovan Brazier, Devin Dixon, Atheng Mo. They're all giants, and this dude is a Lilliputian. He is not tall, and that makes it even harder, right? I mean, people can gobble up, and he's got turnover, and off he goes. The only thing I don't like is apparently they made him take his headband off with his verses on it, which is too bad because I think anybody that can, if a guy can run 144 and he's got some scripture on him, I'm all in, man. Like that's awesome.
He feeling godly.
He love the Lord, and I'm all right with him.
Hey John, let's wrap up this little segment with Devin, and then we're going to toss it to Alex and Zaza to kind of end the show. But okay. Devin Allen.
So first off, I have a poster, like I have the Fred back here. I have a Devin Allen one that he signed, but the problem is now the PR is wrong.
Wait, move your head, John. Let me see the Fred one.
The PR
Let's go. Wait, that was at Arkansas, no?
I don't know where it is. I just
No,
know
that's
that.
yeah, that's in Arkansas. That's what we shot.
That's what we shot at the. Yeah, I remember.
And you know what else is the thing about this picture? That's Fred smiling. I don't know if you knew that. That's Fred. That's practically grinning right there for Fred.
Fred smiles with his eyes. You don't smile with his face.
So yeah. So the poster I have like that of Devin has now got the wrong PR. Again, he's right now. He's like Trey Cunningham. He's like Jaja. He's one of these people that is in an event that is so deep that if you can get yourself a bobble in this sport right now in that event, that's something else. I think he might be the best hurdler in the world from 6 through 10. Certainly 7 through 10. I say 7 through 10. Okay, I'll take Grant over the first 5.
6. Grant the first 6.
Yep. And then I Trey Cunningham's really good in 3 through 7.
4, 5, 6, and 8.
Okay, so that's the middle of the race.
Yeah, middle of the race.
And then I don't know that anybody closes quite like Devin.
Fact. I got the best
of the guys that are out there right now for the American top guys. And so, you know, and I would dearly love for him, because it's amazing what that one spot will do between being 4th in Olympics and a 5th in the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, and I noticed that when I was in Tokyo, how thrilled they were to be on that podium. Like everybody dreams about the goal, but until you see it, a bronze medal, people are not mad. People, right?
Success is in the eye of the person who's getting it, though. Honestly, I would have been on that stand in 3rd place, popping champagne like I won this thing.
Yeah, yeah. So and then I think he's a guy that is. I think the Eagles will find that he's a really good player too, right? He's a decent football player. He is not a guy that just took it up. This is not Ronaldo Nehemiah where he was a great hurdler and then they said, "Hey, let's see if you can play football." And he wasn't terrific at it. And listen, he was upfront about it. He stayed for a while, but realized that wasn't his deal. But at the time, right, the economics of it say you go try that, because back then, there wasn't money to be made. When they scrubbed the 80 Olympics and he couldn't go there, you know, that the money wasn't the same as it is now. So I think he's on the world championship squad. I mean, that's the problem, is you got to jump over those 10 things and they're ready to bite you at any minute.
Yeah.
But I think he makes the world championship right now. I think the world championship team ends up being Grant, Cunningham, and Devin. What do you think, Wellington? Who else? Chad Zalo's not coming through right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an A, B, and a C team.
And I don't think Roberts has run particularly well over the last 18 months.
I'm gonna give you an A, B, and C team now.
All right, what do you got?
Because for me, I'm a real student to my event, and I'm kind of like a nerd. I don't say much, but I see everything. For me,
good.
C team, right? Grant has the bye, right?
He's in.
So Grant has the bye. So second. So now they're looking for second. They're allowed to take 4.
You're right. Yep.
So my C team would be no particular order, right?
Yeah, pick an order.
I'm picking order.
Yeah, you got to pick an order.
All right, fuck it. Let's go then. Grant is already in, so I will say right now. I'll say Devin to take the win. What's the name? Jerry Eaton.
Okay.
I'll say Nicholas Anderson.
Oh.
From Kentucky.
Okay.
And then to end that off, Daniel Roberts.
You cut out who besides Daniel Roberts?
Nicholas Anderson.
No, I had that. You had somebody between him and
it was Devin to win. Aaron Mallett.
These guys are not helping us out, Bob.
Aaron Mallett, I know. He's saying Devin, Aaron Mallett,
and Nicholas Anderson.
And
right.
Daniel.
No, that's my C. That's my C team.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I
Beat?
can't. I notice Alex Hooper didn't roll off your tongue there. What's the problem there?
I
Because he
know.
would have got 8th.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, but like like the A team, my A team, right? In particular order, right? I'll have to say Devin, Jerry Eaton, and Trey Cunningham.
Yeah, I hope Cunningham doesn't get hurt because I think he's pretty good. I'd like to see him show.
It's hard for you to get hurt. You by yourself. You're in college. I don't think anybody's contesting him in NCAA ranks right now.
Although you said, listen, when he ran 13:10, he had a dude on his heels.
Yeah, but those are pro athletes who
Yeah.
whose PRs were 13:19 and 13:17.
Yeah.
So you know, then Andrew Posey is a phenomenal hurler from the UK. William Belosian is a phenomenal hurler from he broke the damn World Junior record on my head, ran 12:90 something. So you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, those two guys, they're pros. So like I said, Trey showed up in the spur of the moment when he knew he had to run against two giants.
Mm-hmm.
So, but how do you turn around from running against two giants and then going to the NCAA where once you set up the first 3 hurdles, you're already a hurdle and a half ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Alex, why don't you sum this up for us?
First of all, that was
That boy gone.
I think
I
that's
deserve
what
a-
he meant to say.
yeah, I deserve a world record just for that. Second, I would be on the had I not failed my drug test every single
Wi-Fi.
time.
John, you and I are the only one with the strong Wi-Fi's right now, I think. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. Normally my stuff is fine, but I've been like cutting in and out today. Why?
Where is Wellington?
I'm right here.
No, where are you physically?
He's
I'm in Miami.
Miami. Okay.
But always a pleasure to be here no matter what. So even if my Wi-Fi was cutting out at the end, I apologize. I think if my phone's going, Alex, you know you have a show in like an hour, right? You got to go get ready or something. And I'm like, oh, right. Okay. Thanks, phone. Yeah.
All right, Alex, we'll let you go. I think what we're gonna do, we'll let you and Zaza go, and John and I will wrap things up today. We're gonna go with the strong Wi-Fi crew on this one.
And after you two go, I'm going
Thank
to
you
make
very much
Bob
for
to go.
having me.
Wellington, I got to make sure that Bob
Thanks,
gets me your
Alex.
number. I need to have your number on my phone.
Bet. Let's go. Listen, I'll text. Well, Bob will give you my number and we'll talk.
Yeah, I need to have that. That's a bad hole in my Rolodex.
It is. Alex, have a great set tonight. Good luck.
Hey, thank you very much, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. I'll see you next time. And just make sure your Wi-Fi at a strong connection in the future.
Whose mess is this?
Oh, God bless him. That's funny.
All right, Zaza. Thanks for popping in, man. So
Number, John.
I'm gonna send John your number right when we get off.
When you really, I got you. We're gonna make sure you get it nice.
I was going to say, where were you 2 weeks ago when I needed you? But that's all right.
You should ask Bob.
All right, see you, Zaza.
See you guys.
I feel like I need to get into the regular rotation here with these
John,
people.
We gotta. Yeah, no, you're coming back. We gotta get you into the rotation. I think what's gonna happen now, as soon as you said you're in and you're like talking a little trash about Brandon, truth be told, I did call him up and say, I think you should pop in just to say hello.
He is. He's great, but he really is. I think he's just a terrific. He's just a terrific kid, man. He is.
He's so poised, right? I mean, he's 20 years old, so poised and confident, and just like what you're saying, the way that he races, is just like, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing.
He's got, and you can see it when he runs, right? He's got certain people, even they don't have to speak, and you get it more when he talks. But I mean, certain people, you watch them compete and how they compete, and they've just got some charisma to them, right? You watch a thing, Mo, right? She's kind of quiet, kind of shy, but I tell you what, sparks fly off her.
Yeah.
When she runs. So And I sent her a little note after Penn because I hadn't seen her in a while, and I just think the world of her. But she's always just she is the most charming and gracious and talented person to be 19. You know, you forget that. And
Yeah.
Brandon's a sophomore too. They're the same age. They both showed at the same time. And people, you watch them run and you think, gosh, look at it. They run and they're these stages and they're such mature people. And then you talk to them afterwards and you realize that they like to go to Chick-fil-A and play Xbox and all these other crazy things, or, you know, in the things case, you know, like cleaning up after a dog all the time. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, that's right. She's 19. And at the Bowerman a few years ago, when Sydney McLaughlin was a finalist after a freshman year. And so now she's dressed up for the event and she's just, you look at her, she's a beauty queen. I mean, she could be a model. And she sits down, and a question I had for her is like, do people allow you sometimes to be 19? Like to remember that you're just 19?
Yeah.
Like that's a thing. And so often I think it's happened. I watch with my kids all the time. And I think, we don't need to rush it. You know, you're going to be 56 like I am soon enough.
Yeah.
At 19, be 19. Be a little foolish. Be a little carefree because pretty soon you're going to have to pay your car insurance or all these other things that happen. And so we kind of forget that, especially in track, when those people can show up at the world stage just like that.
Yeah.
You know, one minute they're running at A&M or they're running at Auburn, and then the next thing you know, they're on this stage and there they are, and you forget sometimes. Yeah, they're 19, they're 20, you know. So,
well, you know, it was funny, John, and we got to get you on a show with Fred, by the way, because he's popped into, he'll come in sometimes and just troll the guests in our chat. So as you saw, we can bring anyone from chat into show. So Fred came into the show one time with Brandon, but he had, while him and Devin were kind of going at it and having fun with their back and forth.
right.
He had so much cool advice for Brandon. And one of his things was enjoy the moment, have fun while you're out there. And he said on the show, this was like 4 or 5 shows ago, I said, this is an obvious question, but I haven't seen you recently, and I haven't asked you this. Why exactly did you switch, you know, from the 400 to the 100 and, you know, so late?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I knew the answer, but I didn't. He goes, I was thinking about quitting the game. I really needed something new, something to kind of put some spark into my life, like into his, you know, racing passion. And he's like, wow, yeah, like that really surprised me. But in the end, like, you still need that fire. You still need it to be fresh and new and fun. If it's not fun, like anything, what's the point?
And it gets hard when you get to that level. The Olympics matter and the World Championships matter. And yes, the Diamond League and those events, and you get to travel the world, are great. But people back home, when you come here, because what our culture is in the sport, they're looking at those two things.
Right.
So Fred can come back and go, you know what? I'm the only guy that's ever won the Diamond League in the 100, the 200, the 400. And people kind of would go, okay, is that like the Super Bowl? Is that like winning an NBA championship? And it's hard to explain when you go through there. And the other thing is, when you get to that level, when you're that good, it's so hard to get that next PR or that next improvement. And you get yourself to the top of your game, and now you show up in Zurich, and for whatever reason, it's blowing 30 miles an hour. Or it's raining, and now all of a sudden you realize, like, I was going to run 43.5, and I still win, and it's great. But sometimes all that shows up in the agate, I still say the paper because I'm 56, is that you ran 44.8 or 45.2, and like, oh, I wonder what happened. He didn't run very. And so it's so hard, and you train and time again, and to go ahead and try to match that. So at least now when he switches, he's got a whole new set of and I can see that improvement. And so if you're thinking about quitting, right, you get that feedback, like, it's better now and it's great and it's awesome, because Alex can go out and he can tell the same joke because he has a routine, and he gets a new crowd every time, but they're laughing, and that feedback's great. Dude, the feedback for these guys is that watch.
Yeah.
It's that clock, and the clock is mean, right? Like, clock, you may not hear you heckle it, but it's a mean deal, and it doesn't lie. Here's what you ran. You know,
that's what I'm kind of obsessed with
especially with sprinters. especially
Yeah,
your sprinters,
right.
because you can be like I brought up briefly. You can be Centrowitz, and you can win the Olympic 1500 in a time that literally would have won like in 1910 or whatever it was, 1920. It was ridiculously slow.
Crazy. Yeah.
But in those cases, in those races, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Long as you win, that's all that counts. You're on the 100, the 200, 400, you win, but then they also ask, how fast did you run?
Right. Right.
If you run fast in the other ones, it's great, and they notice it. But that's what I think made the Rhodesia run so special, is that the guy ran 140 flat in the 140 and bits in the Olympics of all places.
Well, that's why I look at Asafa Powell too. I mean, without Bolt, he would be the greatest sprinter of all time. 97 sub 100 races.
Yeah.
I asked him one time. I'm like, all right, so how many sub 100s have you really run? Like that were other races that heats, and he's like, oh, probably like 220.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I get things are faster and tracks are better, and now everybody's mad about the shoes, and which I don't get any of it.
Yeah.
Because the people are mad about the shoes. Okay, I watched after the race in what they call it, the track meet or whatever, the running meet that was out in San Juan Capistrano,
Oh yeah.
where Newer ran 13:06 and broke the college record. And a bunch of guys all got the standard thing, and somebody had written, like, any clown can run 13 anymore. So I get that number has gone down, but I don't know why people are so offended by the shoes, because I don't know anybody that isn't awed by watching Mondo Duplantis vault 20 feet.
Yeah.
And nobody's going, well, that's great, but he should go back to the bamboo pole.
Right.
Gosh, I wish he was using steel and only going 16.6 or 17.8, and he and Bob Seagren could have a big thing. Like, nobody's mad about that.
Nobody's mad about
No
that.
one is mad that Mondo's
No.
vaulting 6:15. No one.
Yeah.
But everybody's mad because somebody can run 12:50 now. It's different. And by the way, if everybody has the shoes and everybody's running 12:50, then the race
why
is
not?
still right.
Yeah.
Race is still the thing.
It's like
So-
golf balls in golf, right? Or clubs. Yeah.
Everybody. But yeah, that's always my answer to that, is like, okay, you're mad at the shoes. Okay, then I want you to be I want you to go, I can't even stand to watch Mondo because of those poles, those fiberglass poles. It's made it so easy that anybody can vault 19.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the event's better and cooler to watch a dude fall down from fall back to earth from 20 feet in the air.
It totally is. Hey, John, we definitely have to have you back. We got to get you in the rotation. So we normally have what were you thinking is an ending kind of question, but I do want to kind of ask you, and I know we've gone really long here, but what were you thinking when you got the ESPN job? When you got the job and you were the anchor, Sports Center anchor, what were you thinking in that moment?
Well, there are two kind of moments to that I think speak to that. The first one was when my wife dropped me off for work the first day, and she dropped me off because we had moved out here and a car was in storage and it was coming, and so that was it. So she had to drop me off. And I remember getting in the car. I said, "Boy, I wish I was an accountant right now." I said, because at the end of the day, if you straight line depreciate something, all the numbers are the same, and it doesn't matter if I do it or you do it, or whoever the accountant is, anybody at Arthur Anderson. But this job is subjective.
Yeah.
And I learned that when I was in Phoenix. The guy who hired me, the gal who hired me, thought I was great, and the guy who was not going to renew my contract didn't think I was great. And so that first day, I'm just like, hopefully I can, this will work. Hopefully they'll not regret the hire. But then I did my first Sports Center, and I can remember sitting down there. And so often people talk about what's your market size? When I was in Tulsa, it was in the 60th market. And then when I was Phoenix, I was 10 or 11. And now you're here. And at the time we were like at 98 million homes. We got up to 108. But in every one of those studios that was in, whether it was Columbia, Tulsa, Phoenix, the studio's the same. There's just one dude behind a camera. So you never really think that there might be 100 million people behind the camera or 3 million people, because it's the same there. But I can remember getting there, sitting on Sports Center the first day, and went through my head that I didn't care about the people watching out there. I'm like, I'll do my job. I'll get the scores. I remember sitting there thinking, I don't want Chris Berman and Bob Lee or Steve Levy or Dan Patrick to go into, at the time, our boss, still Norby Williamson's office, and go, who the hell did you turn loose on Sports Center last night? We've worked really hard for 20 years to make this show a thing. And who was that clown? And so that was,
That's
if
what
you
you
talk about what
thought?
really went through my head, sitting there on set the first time was like, okay, I wasn't worried about embarrassing myself in front of actual viewers. I was just worried I don't want those guys to go, hey, who was that guy and what were you doing? I didn't want to be that. Somebody have to admit Al Jaffe, who hired me. I didn't want him to go, wow, that guy was a bust.
Right,
'Cause we had people that come through and it doesn't take
Yeah.
for whatever reason. They
Oh,
don't fit or the show doesn't fit them. But that was my really big thing. Is got cheapers. I don't want Bob Lee and I don't want Dan Patrick. I don't want Berman. Those guys to go, who is that? And luckily, I have not come up against that. And all those people
Hey, you've had it.
were willing and then not only accepting but really helpful in a position. There's at the time there weren't many Sports Center seats.
Yeah.
You know,
No, they're not at
6,
all.
11, and 1. There were
Yeah.
6 of them. That was it. Now we got a bunch of them. There were 6 of them. So it can be a competitive environment where not everybody's always super happy, or at least proud of the next guy doing it. But those guys were always great to me, which is always, Bob Lee is just he was tremendous, and Dan Patrick was great, and so that's sort of the lasting thing. And I always remember Linda Cohn made my career here because when I first did Sports Center full time, she was the first person I was there, and she was a made guy, right? Like that's literally like,
Right.
oh, you're going to be handing off to Fred Curley, you're going to be on that relay team,
Right.
and she could have very well said to all these, like, this guy's been here 6 months. Who is this? Literally, I was 6 months. Who is this guy? And what are you doing with it? And she wasn't. She was terrific. She treated me like an equal from day one and paid attention and was inclusive. And, in the broadcast wasn't just, isolated and distance. And she was great. And then I got to sit next to her for 2 or 3 years doing those shows. And so without Elko, I don't know what happens, but I was instantly legitimized because I sat next to her.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like, boom. Sure, her reputation, I got some of that, her professionalism and her stature was imputed to me just because I was sitting next to her.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm really indebted to
Well,
Elko.
it's a lot of those analogies, right, that you're talking about. I mean, A, you had to come in with the talent, and B, though, it's all those other intangibles that start to become factors in it, right? That kind
Yeah.
of help set up your career, and
So I try to remember that too when we have new people, right? We have, Max McGee just joined us, not the Packer, the other Max McGee, and yeah, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It's a shame Wellington's gone, and but I try to remember that when new people sit down next to me, that I'm like, okay, I tell them all. I know I've been here 20 years, so that seemed like, oh my God, 23 years here. But there's a reason they hired you, and there's a reason they put you on this show.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it if they didn't think you can. So, relax and do what you do and let her rip. We're not all the same. Just,
Yeah.
don't try to be the other guy. Just be whoever you are, and that usually will be enough when you come
That's
through.
great advice. I'm glad I asked you the question.
There you
All right,
go.
so
I'm glad I prattled on.
the next show, though, it'll not be me. You'll be on a show with all the other athletes, which is how it should be. So we'll get that rolling. On Thursday we have the Brooks Beasts. We're kind of doing a little handover to that crew.
Good.
And then next week we'll we have a whole list of athletes. Natasha Hastings will be on. Jessica Beard will be back co-hosting on Monday and Thursday. Maybe we
Love
bring
her.
you.
Just such a delightful gal.
Oh yeah, and she's super funny. She's got a great little sly sense of humor. Probably the best smile in all of sports.
Yeah,
But
she got a lot of teeth.
yeah, and yeah. So next week we'll have a lot of great shows. Next week we're starting production on lots of different shows. So you can find World's Greatest on YouTube. We're just youtube.com/World's Greatest. Twitter. Devin knows our Twitter handle better than I do, but it's World's Greatest without the vowels. So
Okay.
that's how you find us. Facebook, we're World's Greatest, and then we're World's Greatest Team on Instagram. But you're not on Twitter, are you, John? You're not a big Twitter guy. It is a rabbit hole. But if you
I am
were,
not on the Twitter.
If you were, Vernon, and Michael Cherry probably would be going at it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why is that?
Because they pull you in. They pull you into the black hole of Twitter.
Yeah,
Vernon and Michael Cherry. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe when I get out, but right now I have not. And listen, there are some people who are fantastic at it, right? Adam Schefter knows how to use it.
Oh
Great.
yeah.
John
Yeah.
Buccigross is second to none with all his stuff. But I choose not to, and maybe I'm not smart enough and inventive enough to how to use it. But
It's a lot of work.
yeah, and I don't know that people want to see me, fire off a picture of my bagel and what I ate this morning, or I don't know that people care what I think of, Roe versus Wade. Like I have a fierce
Yeah.
opinion on it, but I don't know that mine matters
Right.
to
Right.
others. So maybe it does, but I don't know that it, you know,
So
I
what's your
on
next?
November on the second Tuesday and the first Tuesday in November, second Tuesday in November, I only get one vote like everybody else. So.
Exactly. What's the next track meet that we're going to see you on? What do you think that's coming up?
I will be at the SECs this week. I'm going to
Oh
chase
yeah, that's
down
right.
Brandon Miller.
There we go.
And then a month from now, I will be at the NCAAs, which is a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But that Monday night, I will be hosting the induction ceremony for the first ever class, the 30 athletes that were elected to the College Track and Field Hall of Fame for the first time.
And where's that going to be?
It's in Eugene, at the Holt Theater in Eugene on Monday night.
Monday
And
night.
I
What
believe
date?
it's a
We
class.
might have to.
It's a class of 30. 19 are still living, and I think 16 will be in attendance. Only 3
Wow.
can't make it. One fellow lives in Ireland. His name escapes me. Merlene Oddie is unable to attend. And they're working on Henry Rono. It took a while to find him, but they found Henry, and they're working to
Wow.
see if Henry will go there.
That's so cool.
So, and then 10 of the 11 that are no longer with us have representatives. A family member of some sort that will be there to represent them as well. So
That's really cool. No, I mean it's so fun to watch you. I'm sure you'll be great on that. To watch you during the broadcast, you have a great combination of knowledge and always with a little bit of humor to kind of work that in. But your knowledge in track and field is unparalleled, and your passion, I think, for the sport is unrivaled as well. So I
well,
always just love
I hope
watching.
that shows through, because I do love the sport and I like it, and I work hard at studying it. And I know some people, what's funny, I always find I tell people all the time, one of the issues I have, I was talking to the guys from Flow Track the other day, Gordon and is it Kevin that he does the podcast with all the time. Because God forbid that you can like everybody in the sport, right? So Let's Run, I don't think can like Flow Track, which can't run Runner Space and all that. Everybody,
Right.
I would love if somehow we could unite the clans on this. But I was talking to them because I'd never met them, but they were there, and I listened to their stuff all the time. So I wanted to say hi, introduce myself, and I said, I just want you to know that I'm like everybody else. There are a lot of times I think you guys are geniuses, and a lot of times I think you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I said, but just remember, we're all in the same boat. Everybody loves the sport, but doesn't like anything about it. They don't like the announcers. They don't like the coaches. They don't like the promoters. They don't like that Fred decided to run the 100 instead of the 400. Like, it's amazing how many people love the sport but don't like anything about the people that are associated with it.
It's universal. It is universal,
Crazy, right?
I'm new to the sport, relatively new to this, right?
Yeah.
We just started three years ago, and it's completely universal. Everyone, they love the sport and they hate everything about how it's
Crazy.
put into the world.
Put any announcer on, they can find. They don't like any announcer, and I'm not trying to go, it was me, because I at first you could have, except I realized that they don't like, they all think Danny Mackey doesn't know a thing about how to coach, or Ben Rosario with Hoka. He knows no idea what he's supposed to be. None of these guys know anything. The college track coaches run them all in the wrong meet. They or the wrong events. So the relay team's in dumb order, and then promoters are not getting it right, and agents aren't sending their guys to the right places. And yeah, so it's amazing how well the sport does, considering no one's any good at any aspect of it. So and so's overtrained. They don't. It's just whatever.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's terrific.
All right. Well, I can't wait to have you on the show again, John. This is gonna be great.
And thanks for queuing in, Brandon. That was fun.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
I like him. I love Devin Dixon. All those guys. I like Donovan Brazier. I feel great. I feel like I really furthered Donovan Brazier's career because he'd never been to Disney World before. And at the Bowermans in Orlando, I'm like, you really no? And so I gave him one of my, because we get Disney passes all the time. So I got Donovan Brazier into Disney World. So that's like, I feel like that's,
Hey,
I don't, I,
so
you can hate a lot about the sports, but I'm thinking I got a guy in Disney World. I feel like I've got some power in the sport. I've got some, I've got some yank.
you do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
So,
this
and like I
has been
said, and I
good.
love that guy, even if he seems
I
like he's
know.
mean as a snake.
I'm already going. All right, so now we need
What you need to
and
do is
Fred.
I need to go find the interview when they won the championship. And they had won, I think that's one of the crazy track rules, right? They set the world record, A&M, in the 4x4 indoors, but finished second. Okay. And USC won it, but they don't have the world record. They have the all-time world best and the collegiate best, but not the world record because you have to all be from the same country.
Oh
And
man,
what's even stranger is the guy who was
wow.
not from the country for USC was Rai Benjamin,
Oh gee.
whose passport was in hold because of over that. So he had run from whatever his dad's Caribbean nation was. And even though he grew up in, wherever it was,
That's
New York,
ironic.
and
Yeah, Mount
now
Vernon.
runs for the
Yeah.
US, so they don't have it. But afterwards, so there they are. There's the four of them, and it's him, and it's Malik, and I think it's Robert Grant, and it is might have been Brazier. I don't think Devin's there. And anyway, so I sidle up, and there's the four of them. And Fred is, because Fred obviously doesn't always run the anchor leg. Pat
Right.
Henry did not always have him run the anchor leg. And I sidle up and I look at him. I go, "Well, you're not going to say anything." And I just moved on to the next guy and went through. And he was totally cool. He's like, "I'm in, right?
Right.
I should find that somewhere for you because you'd get a kick out of it." And
Oh yeah.
because not offended in the least. He was like more than happy. Like, yeah, that's good. I don't need it.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be the next show. You and Fred.
So, yeah, or go find him at the Bowerman where I told him, okay, I promise I'll only ask you 4 questions and you can get done. So, anyway, and yet, like I said, I think the world of him, especially, he and Malik, that's some hard miles before they ever got on the track, man.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
that's they're good stories and they're good human beings.
Yep.
That came from some hard spots. So I think he probably still has some hard bark on him in some spots, but man, he's fun to watch. But
He's a great dude too. I mean, he's
he is
stand-up
all
guy.
business, man.
Always been there for us.
And now he's got a green thumb and he's got a garden.
I want to just eat those veggies. I want to come down here and come down there, just right.
Right. Everyone's all right. I talk about right. Here's the Twitter and the Instagram. People are showing you this. Here's Fred. Here's the garden. Can't wait to eat what's in the garden tonight. I'm like, good Lord. America's favorite vegetarian.
And he's an overachiever in gardening as well. You just know it. Like it's guaranteed.
Mr. Miracle Grow. That's him.
That's
so. All right, Bob. Hey, thanks for reaching out, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to go back to start working on the SEC stuff.
all right, man. Have a great night, John. Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.